Good morning. Today our lesson is about direct proportion and to understand the meaning of direct proportion and to find missing values. What is a direct proportion? If two quantities are said to be directly proportional if an increase in one quantity corresponds to a constant increase in the other quantity, or if a decrease in one quantity corresponds to a constant decrease in the other quantity. In other words, it means that if x is increasing, y is also increasing, and if x is decreasing, y is also decreasing. So there is a relation between these two. If you multiplied x by 2, it means you have to multiply y by 2 and so on. So what happens to x happens to y. Like, for example, in this table, x and y are proportional to each other. So if you look, 15 to become 30, you multiply it by 2. So to find the value of y, you have to multiply by 2 to become 40.8. 15 to become 60, you multiply it by 4. So you have to multiply by 4 down. 15, it became 5. So you divide it by 3. So you have to divide 20.4 divided by 3 to get 6.8. Let's solve this one together. We have this table, and as we know, the time and distance are always proportional to each other. So from 5 to 10, you multiply it by 2. So to get the answer, you have to say 13 times 2 is 26, and so on. 5 to 20, you multiply it by 4. So 13 times 4 is 52. 5 times 6 is 30, so 13 times 6 is 78, and 5 times 9 is 45, so 13 times 9 is 117. So we did like this because time and distance are proportional to each other. So what happens to time, it's going to happen to the distance. For example, if you have 250 milliliter of cola contains 27 gram of sugar, work out the amount of sugar in 500 milliliter of cola. To do this, you know that 500 is double of 250, so you multiply it by 2. So we have to say 27 times 2 to get 54. 125 is half of 250, so you have to say 27 divided by 2. 1 liter is 1000 milliliter, so 1000 milliliter is 250 times 4. So to get the answer, you have to say 27 times 4. We did this because these are proportional to each other. So what happens to x happens to y, as we said before. This table, the relation between x and y is proportional. So 1 became 2. 1 times 2 is 2. So you have to multiply 4 times 2 is 8. 1 times 4 is 4. So 4 times 4 is 16. So 1 times 8 is 8. So 4 times 8 is 32. Let's check if these tables are proportional to each other. Let's look at this one. You have to check each one. 1 times 3 is 3, so 2 times 3 is 6. 1 times 5 is 5, so 2 times 5 is 10. And 1 times 7, so 2 times 7 is 14. So yes, this one is proportional to each other. Let's check this one. 2 times 2 is 4, so 6 times 2 is 12. 2 times 4 is 8, so 6 times 4 is 24. But if you look at the last one, 2 times 3 is 6. 6 times 3 is 18 and not 21. So this one is not proportional, and we are going to take this one in specific details in the next lessons. Thank you for your listening, and that's your homework for today.